Hi everyone! In today's video, we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most important skills in micro soldering. How to properly hold and control your hot air gun, and how to calibrate the temperature for small motherboard repairs like iPhones and iPads. Many repair technicians like to hold a hot air gun this way, but gripping it like this makes your hand too stiff and forceful. We're not forging metal, we're controlling heat, so this method isn't very suitable if you want flexibility when handling the hot air gun. The correct method is to point your fingers upward and use only 4 fingers to hold the handle of the hot air gun. This way, you can keep the tool stable while staying flexible enough to control your movements. Whether you're swinging or making circular motions. As you can see, with the second method, we can easily move our fingers to control the precision of the hot air nozzle. But with the first method, it's much more tiring. You have to rely on your wrist or even your whole hand to control the accuracy. Some technicians are used to this method and feel it's fine. But if you're doing high volume repairs working on motherboards all day, your hand will get extremely tired. And it becomes very difficult to maintain stability. The second detail we need to pay attention to is how we use our forearm to control and stabilize the hot air gun. The correct way is to rest your forearm on the edge of the workbench so it becomes a support point you can leverage. You can see that with this method, the hot air gun can easily stay suspended at the height we need while remaining stable. Then we only use the muscles of our fingers and palm to control the angle of the hot air gun. If you need a larger heating angle, for example, when you want to preheat the motherboard, you can add a bit of wrist movement. Just a small adjustment is enough to achieve what you need without losing control. Now, let's take a look at the incorrect method. Many technicians hold their forearm completely suspended in the air like this. This is completely incorrect. Holding the hot air gun this way makes it impossible to achieve precise angles or a stable control. And if you operate like this for long periods of time, your hand will become very fatigued. Now let's go over the most affordable and traditional method to calibrate our heat gun. Since there are many different brands and types of heat guns on the market, their temperature accuracy and airflow can vary. This often means that even if we input the same temperature and airflow settings, the actual results may not always be the same. Many beginners use low-quality heat guns, and even when they set the temperature very low, they still end up damaging the motherboard without realizing it. In the following method, we use the color changes on a paper towel during heating to determine whether the heat gun's temperature is within a safe range. With the nozzle close to the surface and the airflow set to maximum, we can demonstrate the effect. As you can see, the first spot turns dark and burnt in less than 5 seconds. This indicates that the heat gun's surface temperature spikes too quickly, making it very easy to damage the motherboard. Next, we'll lower the temperature by 30 degrees and see how the results change. So this gives us a clear idea of how aggressive the heat can be at this setting. Now let's adjust the temperature and compare the difference. As we can see, the paper towel still turns burnt within 10 seconds. This temperature is suitable when we want to remove a chip quickly, but the moment the chip comes off, we must pull the heat gun away immediately. Otherwise, there's still a risk of damaging the motherboard. Now let's reduce the temperature by another 20 degrees and see how it performs. We can see that even after blowing for 10 seconds, the paper towel doesn't turn burnt. The color only gradually shifts to a brown tone, and once it reaches a certain depth, it stops getting darker. This temperature is much more suitable for beginners or for anyone still getting familiar with a new heat gun. Let's heat another spot and take a look at the results. At this temperature, the heating process is slower, so we need to apply heat for a longer period before the chip can be removed. This requires a bit of patience, but for smartphone motherboard repair, patience is a fundamental skill. Sometimes being too aggressive and trying to go fast actually ends up slowing you down. That's all for today's video. Hope you found it helpful. Every small detail makes a big difference in repair work. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tech repair tutorials.